Number 1, Vinícius Antonelli, goalkeeper, São Paulo, Brazil.
And number 2, Jonas Cavella, left-hander position, and Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Number 3, Guilherme Oneto, position 2, Rio de Janeiro.
Number 4, Rudá Franco, driver, São Paulo, Brasil.
Number 5, Polo Salemi, left-hander side from Rio de Janeiro.
Number 6, Bernardo Gomes, defender, and Rio de Janeiro.
Number 7, Adriano Delgado Baches, Brazil, position 4-5.
Number 8, Felipe Silva, center from Rio.
Number 9, Bernardo Rocha, defender from Rio.
Number 10, Felipe Perone, driver, Rio de Janeiro.
Number 11, Gustavo Guimarães, driver, São Paulo.
Number 12, Danilo Correa, center forward, São Paulo.
13, Tia Matos, goalie, Rio de Janeiro.
Head coach of Brazilian team, Ratko Rudic.
Number 1, Katsuyuki Tanamura, goalkeeper from Tokyo.
Cap number 2, Seiya Adachi, position number 4, from Gifu.
Number 3, Atsushi Arai, position forward, from Yokohama.
Number 4, Mitsuaki Shiga, position right side, from Gunma.
Cap number 5, Akira Yanase, position center forward, from Kanagawa.
Number 6, Yuta Hemi, position right side, from Osaka.
Number 7, Yusuke Shimizu. I play the center, and my from is Kumamoto.
Number 8, Yuki Kadon, position right side, from Mie.
Number 9, Koji Takei, position left side, from Kyoto.
Number 10, Ken Yasuda, position floater back, from Ibaraki.
Cap number 11, Keigo Okawa, position number 3, from Yokohama.
Number 12, Atsuto Ida, position number 3, from Aomori.
Number 13, Tomoyoshi Fukushima, goalkeeper, from Kagoshima. Head coach Japan, Yoji Omoto.
FINA World League Super Final coming up in Italy. This is the make or break day. You win here, medal or no medal, you assure yourself of going on to that event.
Yeah, absolutely. These games are critical, and two contrasting styles, with Japan being really quick, Brazil playing more of a traditional front court game, so it should be really exciting.
And this is Japan controlling the opening sprint in the white caps, Brazil in the dark. And we'll get things started here. Japan 1 and 2 coming in here to the quarterfinal round. Brazil 2 and 1. And as Steve noted, certainly different styles. Japan a quick team, pesky on defense and offense. And a takeaway there from Brazil, perhaps a little bit more traditional. Jonas Crivello comes up with the takeaway. Vincius Antonelli in cage for Brazil. Katsuyuki Tanamura for Team Japan. And we'll get our first look at Brazil on offense.
And right away you see Japan really pressuring the perimeter all the way out. Brazil sort of pushed out.
Quick shot attempt there, and a save by Tanamura. And it'll come back to Japan.
Looks like both teams sort of feeling each other out here. Sort of the pace of the game hasn't quite picked up yet. I'm sure after a couple possessions, things are going to start moving real quick.
Entry inside here. Goalie out, but first an exclusion. This will go against Brazil, and number 6, that'll be Bernardo Gomes. And a power play coming here for Japan. Lost to Canada yesterday in a high-scoring affair, 20-10. Here they are on the attack. Looking inside, dangerous pass, tipped away, and stolen by Brazil. Sides come even.
And when they cross the ball that quick from one side to the other, trying to get it down to the middle because you're catching the defense shifting. And so it wasn't quite there, but it was a good look.
Here's Peroni for Brazil. Has had some dazzling goals here through a couple of days. This one's tossed away, and Japan takes control. A battle here of the next two hosts of the Summer Olympic Games. Brazil coming up here in 2016, and then Japan in 2020. Rio and then Tokyo. And Steve, we were talking before we started here about this really the culmination for Brazil of a years-long process to develop their team ahead of next year's Olympics as they turn it over, and you're seeing similarly with Japan, you see them cropping up now in more and more tournaments as they build up their program for 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brazil's been a core group of this team has been together for about 10 years. And, yeah, I haven't had a chance to see a lot of Japan, but they have been popping up as the Olympic Games come closer and closer.
Score it there for Brazil. They're on the board, and it's Peroni hitting on his first. And Brazil takes the 1-0 lead here. 5:27 to play, first quarter.
And that itself was a pretty dazzling goal there. He did a little fake to 2 meters and just shot it, cut the goalie off. But what's surprising is Japan is really pressing out. They're not really helping 2 meters, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Kind of daring Brazil to get 2 meters involved.
Yeah.
Contra foul is called there. It'll turn over to Brazil. As you saw a second look there at the Peroni goal, kind of just stepping back off the defender and putting that one away. 5:07 left here, first quarter, 1-0 Brazil on the attack. Working inside, dealing it to the perimeter. And they'll go top now. Trying to find Peroni. A little too much on that pass, and it sails over his head, and Japan will take over.
And Japan has been up on the counter a couple times. You have one right here. They can get the ball in the inside.
Goalkeeper out here after the ordinary. So guarding that entry pass, and mistake made by Antonelli as he left things wide open from the perimeter for Japan to put that one away. It was Koji Takei, one of the highest scorers for this Japanese team. So you understand what he was trying to do there, guard against an entry pass, but he maybe came out a little too far.
Yeah, and I think the fault really becomes with the defenders on the cross side. You know, they have to be making sure that they're pressing so that they can't make that cross pass. You know that your goalie is going to take risks like that. You have to cover for him.
And we're even at 1.
But I think going into this game, I mean, we both thought it was going to be a pretty exciting one. And I think, you know, even though they're feeling each other out, you could see the pace starting to pick up, getting physical, and Japan really trying to get out on the counter.
The exclusion call. This will go against Japan. And number 11, Keigo Okawa. We talked about what's at stake here, a berth in the World League Super Final. That's huge for two developing teams that just need high-level opportunities. You're going to get some of the best teams in the world at that event in Italy coming up in June. To get 6 more games as that entry pass goes in and no one home there, overpass and taken away, but to get 6 more games at a high level, invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that Brazil's going to be in the Olympic Games. I mean, this is a team that's going to be there being the host country. And so they need to fine-tune going into that as much as possible.
Exclusion there on Jonas Crivello on Brazil on the way down. Timeout called by Japan head coach Yoji Omoto, and he'll have a chance here to set up the 6-on-5 with 4:03 to play. And we're all even at 1. Team USA in action later today. They'll take on Kazakhstan at 6:30 p.m. So again, a full slate here. Quarterfinal action at the FINA Men's Intercontinental Tournament. We'll head to the semifinals tomorrow and then into the medal round on Saturday. Note, Saturday the action will start earlier, 9 a.m. opening sprint first game. So we've had 3:30 starts all week, but 9 a.m. on Saturday. And don't forget, you can join the conversation here on Twitter. Use the hashtag FINACDM. Join the conversation online. And we'll be featuring some of your tweets throughout the week. And if you're here at the pool, well, you can't hear this unless you're on a laptop or a phone. But you come down to the pool, you throw some tweets up, maybe they get up on the video board here, and you pick up a couple of followers I know Steve's been
That's
waiting.
what I'm going to be doing.
Steve's going to be dropping tweets all day.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get those follower numbers up.
I would see if Japan goes back inside here, back inside to into the post.
On the power play here, bit of a high pass. They swing it around, left-hander now, near side. Cross pass. Good look, trying the redirect. And missed the ball, got the head of a Brazilian defender. It's off the mark. And sides are even now as Brazil takes over. That was Peroni taking a smack to the head instead of the ball. Dangerous pass there, looking to get it into the post. As Peroni was working inside, and an easy takeaway for Japan and Yanasi. And now Japan on the attack. So a couple of bad passes here, but who's leaking out? Peroni's ahead of the field. They'll hit him on the hand. It's 1-on-none. Working in. Stops, fakes, and fires it home, beating Tanamura, and Brazil ahead 2-1.
And for those players that are out there watching right now, the webcast, you see him Peroni pick the ball up, at about 5 meters or so. He's picking it up at 5 meters, and then he's making his decision with the ball, and that's, the guy can't catch up. That's how he's putting that away. So that's a great one-on-nobody execution right there by Peroni.
And he waited off the keeper there, too, until he kind of got off his legs, able to put that one to the corner.
A little surprising how both Brazil and Japan have turned the ball over. Really unforced errors. You don't really see that too much.
Another takeaway here. Peroni on the perimeter. It's a 2-on-1 for Brazil. Japan giving chase. Gomeras cruising in. Now the defense is there, and there's more Whitecaps. Fights through, goalkeeper out, and taken away. Good defense there by Japan. Seemed like they were in trouble facing a 2-on-1, and they come up with the takeaway.
Really unnecessary there by Grumi. I mean, he needed to just pick it up, fake it once, and shoot the ball. So he's going to regret that one.
On the other end, score it for Japan on the counterattack. Keigo Okawa hitting from the outside, and Japan evens things at 2 with 2:30 to go here in the first.
And right away, coach recognizes that mistake and pulls him out. Wants a little teachable moment there. When you have those opportunities in high-level international games, you have to take them. You can't mess around with it. So that was a big mistake.
2-goal swing there, as Brazil easily could have been up 3-1 on that break, and now we're even at 2 here. Brazil back with the ball after the score. 2:22 to play, first quarter.
And Japan continuing to press. I mean, they're pressing out at half tank.
This is the advantage of their conditioning and their speed. They can seemingly be in 2 places at once. Ball under is the call, and Japan will take over.
And Brazil does not want to get in the swim meet with Japan. I mean, I think Japan is going to be able to do this for 4 quarters. Brazil needs to slow it down a little bit, get the ball into 2 meters.
And you're just seeing how this team has developed. If you caught Japan in a game even 2 years ago, this would be probably 5-6-0 by now. They've really just been able to develop, of course, conditioning we touched on, but then tactically they're able to hang in the game here and have it tied right now with 2 minutes to play.
Yeah. And you sort of caught a glimpse of that when the women were at Riverside.
Sure.
We saw a little bit of the same style, and they were able to hang with teams for a long time.
Contra foul there on Japan. And what was interesting about the Japan women's team was that they played exclusively without a center. So they were just doing everything on the perimeter, and it really confused teams.
Yeah, it really did.
They were in games a lot because I don't think teams really knew what to do with that.
Yeah.
It eventually figured out post them up. They lost their share of games, but an interesting strategy. Entry inside, double team, and a takeaway. So turnovers, the story here of the second half of this first quarter, as we're still even at 2 with 1:22 to play.
And Japan is up again.
Shiga on the move. There's an ordinary. They'll look inside. Great look. Beautiful save, Antonelli. Right in front. It was number 7, Shimizu, and Antonelli stuffed him.
Great save by goal. And now Brazil's up on the counter. Let's see if they can capitalize here.
Under a minute to play. First quarter. All even at 2. Outside try. Tanamura with the stop. And Japan takes over. Here's the outlet. Japan has numbers. Throwing it ahead and an exclusion. So we'll go against Brazil, and this is going to be a clean look and a put away for Japan. And Takei, he got free after the exclusion. Brazil not getting back. And Japan goes in front 3-2 with just 40 seconds to play here in the first.
And you see just a great execution, great awareness. You know, they get the kick out during the counterattack, during the fast break, and they're still able to capitalize. That was just great heads-up play by Japan. And Brazil, Coach Ratko Rudick, subbing all 6 right now. He could see that his players are a little bit winded. Maybe get them settled down a little bit, give them a little extra rest.
Brazil's been parked in the 3:30 slot all week. The only team really able to develop a routine here. They've played every first game, including today in the quarters.
Another steal.
And a turnover there. Japan has it back. And the shot clock is off, just 18 seconds left as we run down the first quarter here. An exciting one, back and forth between Japan and Brazil. 3-2. Japan in front looking for more here as they close out the first. A few fakes. Down to 6 seconds, outside try, bangs off of the bar, long rebound. 2 seconds left, one, will they get a shot off? They won't. Tanamura stops it, but it wouldn't have counted. We come to the end of one. And after 8 minutes, it's Japan 3, Brazil 2. We're back after this with the second, right here on USA Water Polo TV.
Water polo. Polo. I am water polo.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
Back here at CDM, second quarter about to begin. Japan leading Brazil 3-2 in this all-important quarterfinal match. Of course, the winner moves on to the top 4 in this tournament, but also qualifies for the World League Super Final. And Japan is able to take this one in the opening sprint, and now they'll come out here with the ball. And Steve, adjustments here for Brazil.
Well, Brazil needs to be way better with the ball. They need to control the ball. They have to make sure that they have good possessions. They haven't had one long full shot clock possession yet in the whole game. So they need to make sure they're doing that. And they need to convert these types of steals on the counterattack.
So a steal here, Guimarães getting out in the passing lane on a dangerous pass there from Japan. A lot of blue caps here on the offensive end. Here comes Crivello working far side, looks across, beautiful dish. Peroni puts it away. He's got a hat trick. We're tied at 3.
It's a great pass. And really, you can't really ask for a better start to the quarter than that. A steal on the perimeter turns into a fast break, and they're able to go across the court for an easy goal. And Japan really needs to put a body on Peroni. I mean, he's already got 3 goals. You know, they really have to make sure that they know where he is at all times.
So 3 goals for Peroni to get Brazil started as we're even at 3. 30 seconds gone by here in the second quarter.
And Brazil's a lot more aggressive on the perimeter right now. You could tell that there's a sense of urgency now.
Only time you get your whole lineup subbed out, 6 in, 6 out, those guys are going to realize they got to find a different gear.
Yeah.
Shot clock under 10 for Japan. Seen some dangerous passes here they try and put into 2 meters.
Yeah, and you see the difference with Japan and Brazil is that Japan's using the shot clock. They're trying to control the game that way. And Brazil's doing a better job of it now to start, but in the first quarter was a little out of sorts.
Ordinary called on the far side. Here's Delgado looking for some room. He'll wind up. Tanamura gets the right hand on it, knocks it out of play. Corner throw coming here in a new shot clock for Brazil.
Yeah, that's not the type of possession that Brazil wants. You know, one guy has the ball for 10 seconds trying to get a foul, and then he takes a shot. So they need to really look into the center position. Look how far out they're pressing.
Yeah,
over
almost
here.
in the backcourt here. And they are at this point. So driving him almost into Antonelli here. This really derails a possession, although it is going to open up some water on the inside. But Tanamura, they're able to come out and complete the steal. And now half of the Japanese team is already on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Long cross pass here. A little mini 2-on-1. Working in. Another nice save from Antonelli. Able to stop Okawa in close.
And coach is motioning for him to go center right there. You know, take it to the center of the cage, gives you more options. When you're on that angle, you really only have one option, and that's why the goalie was able to block that. Japan is, I mean, it's very impressive to see them being able to press a team like Brazil out this far, and Brazil not capitalizing in 2 meters. You know, the 2 meter man from Brazil is outsized. I mean, he's a lot bigger than the Japanese 2 meter defender, and it's surprising that they're not able to get the ball in.
Japan back on offense, and a takeaway. Double team is there. Carvillo comes over for the steal with 5:29 to play in the first half. There's an ordinary as Brazil pulls it out. Here's Gomes working in. Shot clock to 10 for Brazil. Peroni takes a look, pours it inside. The tip and the steal. Defense from behind. Atsudo Aida coming up with the takeaway.
Yeah, Japan is, you know, you've seen a lot of international games. You've been announcing all these international games. And you don't see this very often where they're pressing like this. A lot of times it's just 2, 3, 4 guys are back in 2 meters. They don't want any score from center. Right now, Japan's basically saying, we're giving you the center. You got to score from center if you want to score.
Outside try, Antonelli tips that one out. It'll come in on a corner throw. Well, a couple of things. One, you usually don't see a team that has the stamina to do this for 4 quarters and do it well.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you know, if you're going to compare this to basketball, it's almost like having just a team of shooting guards out there. They don't have that big lumbering guy, so everyone can move around quickly and get to all positions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the teams that are successful versus Japan are the ones that are getting the ball into 2 meters right away, you know, and then they have to drop and the pressure goes off.
Turnaround attempt there and a save by Antonelli on the try by Yanasi. .408 to play. Here's a clean look for Peroni. That one off the post as he tried to go near side, and the rebound controlled by Japan. Here's Kodono. Quarterfinal action here at the FINA Men's Intercontinental Tournament. Entry pass inside, no one home. Antonelli races out of the goal. He'll come up with it.
He wants to score.
Yeah, this guy's ready to take it down to the offensive end. He's at about 6 meters away from his own goal. And now he'll give it off to Gustavo Gomes.
And
entry inside, Tanamura out, but forces the steal. And then a tangle and an exclusion. Actually, now they'll just call it an ordinary, and they'll rule the ball to Japan.
You know, and I would say if you're probably when you're watching at home, you're probably saying, why isn't that an exclusion? Well, you know, when you're here in person, which is, you know, we want obviously people to be here in person, but you see they're giving the 2 meter offensive player a little bit of leeway to hold and to hold off, and so it's not what it appears, you know, from far away. You know, they're physical in there, and they're gonna let them play.
Ball turns over as Japan coughs it up. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Still even at 3. Not any longer. Brazil hitting there, and they turn to Bernardo Gomes, the first man not named Peroni, to put one away here. And this one for Brazil, and they go ahead 4-3.
And see if this sort of opens up a little bit of a floodgate here, saying, okay, they can't stop us in 2 meters. Let's get the ball in and sort of change their tactic to get the ball in. That was a nice shot. Nice 2-meter goal. Seemed like last night, I was here watching USA and Argentina. It seemed like last night and even the night before, a lot of timeouts. You know, they were using that one timeout. You know, Japan doesn't want to slow things down at all. They're gonna let it go.
Don't jinx us yet, Steve. I was hoping we were gonna get through a game here without all these timeouts being called. We've seen a lot of break out the whiteboard with 7 seconds left when you're down 8.
Yeah.
2:35 to go here in the first half. Brazil controlling, reverse spinning, exclusion called against Japan, and timeout called by Brazil as Adachi is excluded. It's also moved along because there hasn't been many exclusions. That's just the 4th overall exclusion in this game. So you're seeing the teams get up and down. That's in large part to Japan's mobility, just moving up and down. They're not posting.
No. And there have been a lot of turnovers too, which, you know, just lets the game sort of flow a different way. It's not your traditional game like last night. It was a USA versus Argentina, especially the first half. It was very traditional, sort of slow and there wasn't really that fast paced. This is a really fast paced game. I mean, I haven't seen a game like this in a while.
And it's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting.
Get a couple of teams in good condition that can get up and down the pool.
And I think every team that's here is looking at Japan saying, you know, we can add this to our game. Maybe it's not our entire game plan, but we can add this element to our game, get a couple quick goals. I think that's important.
Brazil out of the timeout on the 6-on-5. Around the perimeter they go. That pass nearly intercepted. Shot clock to 10, a few fakes and a score. 2 straight for Gomes, this time on the power play, and Brazil goes up 2.
And I don't think that ball fell in the water one time. It was one quick catch, fake, pass, and then that's what sets this up right here, center cage. Great
Beautifully
shot.
done. Bernardo Gomes puts that one home, and Brazil has jumped up here with a 5-3 lead. We're here at high school. A tennis ball bounced into the pool. There's a tennis court right next door here at Colonel Del Mar High School. That pass over the top and the takeaway by Antonelli. So Brazil's settled down here a little bit. They've picked up a couple of goals. They've scored 3 unanswered to turn a 3-2 Japan lead into a 5-3 Brazil lead.
But they're not changing up their game plan in terms of pressing. I mean, they're pressing all the way out. They're going to continue and try to get a couple fast breaks.
Now they try and go inside, just an ordinary, as they try and get Felipe Silva involved. And here's a press and a double team and a steal.
They are so quick on the help, blindsiding you.
And now ahead of the field. Pulling it out wide. Skip shot. They go cross cage and score it for number 11, Okawa. He's got 2. And Japan draws to within 1, 5-4 with a minute 17 to play in the first half.
That was another beautifully executed counterattack, taking it all the way down so you could see the entire field, going right across and quick catch, fake, and then a cross cage shot, catching the goalie the opposite of the momentum.
Japan has had a host of opportunities. You have to give Antonelli credit. This could be a little bit worse here for Brazil, as he's made a couple of saves where you thought Japan had some pretty clean looks at the goal.
I think there's going to be some major halftime adjustments by Brazil. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that second half, because I do think they're going to run a couple plays to get the ball into 2 meters earlier in the shot clock. You know, right now it's happening too late.
Pass over the top, and a beautiful look and a put away. And score it for Gomes. So Peroni started us off with 3 in a row for Brazil, and now Gomes has taken over the scoring reins. He's got 3 straight. It's 6-4 lead for Brazil.
And, you know, that's a tough one because when the defender or when the offensive player is facing the defender, a lot of coaches want that automatic offensive foul, like a push-off. They didn't call it there. It was a really nice pass.
35 seconds left here, first half. 6-4, Brazil in front of Japan. And exclusion called. This will go against Brazil. And here comes Japan now on the power play. Guilherme Gomes is excluded. Here's a shot trickling close, and Brazil reaches back to grab it. Silve coming over to help Antonelli. Shot clock is off here, just 15 seconds left in the first half.
Might be a little anti-timeout, but that would have been a good time to call a timeout right there. Get things settled in, call a play. It's the end of the possession. You don't want to give them another opportunity.
Entry inside and a takeaway, so Silve saves the day on one end, then makes the steal on the other. And we come to the end of the first half, where Brazil has battled back to take the lead over Japan 6-4, thanks to hat tricks from Bernardo Gomes and Felipe Peroni. Don't forget to tweet live using hashtag FINACDM. Second half on the way. Stay with us. You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org.
Champions aren't born. Champions come from doing what others won't. Because doing their best in this moment puts them in the best place for the next moment. Champions are made. Will. Determination. Greatness. Here. Get made.
And welcome back here to Corona Del Mar High School. A little split screen action to get us started on the opening sprint here in the third. It's a 6-4 lead for Brazil, along with Steve Carrera, Greg Meskel here with you. And Steve, we started the second quarter, we're talking about, well, what does Brazil have to do? And they turned to Bernardo Gomes, who immediately fired in 3 goals. Japan, we know, or at least we'll assume, will stay dedicated to the press. Any other changes they can make?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to play a little bit better with the individual defense when they're driving, because now you see Brazil starting to do some one-on-one drives, and Peroni is so deadly on those one-on-one drives. They have to just contain that, and I think everything else is working for them. I mean, if they make that 6-on-5 at the end of the quarter, you know, we're a 1-goal game. So I think they're where they want to be. They look pretty excited at halftime.
Contra foul, and Japan turns it over. Brazil will take control. Brazil in the dark caps, Japan in the white. Coming up next, we'll have Canada and China as we continue the quarterfinals here at the men's Intercontinental tournament. Here's a look in close, and near side hitting there, Jonas Crivello. So Tanomura maybe assuming cross cage, but it gets past him on the near post.
And I think this is where, you know, Brazil might start expanding their lead. If they can get the ball and get some counterattack goals, one-on-one situations like this, it's going to be very tough for Japan. I mean, they're doing everything they can to contain, but you can't give up turnovers that lead to one-on-nobodies on the other end.
Just about a minute gone by here in the third, and Brazil has taken control of this game for the time being, ahead here 7-4. On the other end, nice save by Antonelli. He's had at least 3 high-quality stops here among his saves in the day, as that one was earmarked for the back of the net, but he went over and got it.
You know, normally...
Big turn there out of around 4 meters, and it's off the side of the wall behind the net.
Normally when you're pressing, you know, you foul and you look to help back in 2 meters into the center position. Japan is fouling and staying right where they are. They want to stay, are committed to the press, and you know, it works for them every now and then. I might get them into trouble as this game progresses, though.
Counter attack here. Blue Caps on the move. Cross cage. Delgado is on the board, and Brazil rolling now as they have doubled up Japan here 8-4 with 6:13 to play in the third. Japan continues to get looks on the offensive end. It's not as if Brazil has shut them down defensively. They're just not putting the ball away.
No, and I think those are a testament to the adjustments that Brazil's making. They're starting to see some trends and things that they do over and over again. It took them a little bit to figure those things out, but I think they're starting to hone in on what their routine is.
Japan on the attack. A bobbled pass there, shot clock to 7. Okawa. Good look inside, but defense is there. We're trying to set up Yanase on the cross pass. Looked like he was dragged down by a Brazilian defender.
That could have been a 5-meter. I mean,
yeah.
that looked like a 5-meter penalty, but I'm not quite sure what they saw straight in line with it. We're kind of at an angle here, but
I agree with you. I was waiting for the official to throw the hand up. Not the case, and here comes Brazil on the offensive end. Look inside, keeper out. Backhand is off the bar, and the rebound controlled by Tanomura.
Now you see Japan sort of slowed down just a little bit here.
And this pass, easy pickings here as Gomes is out in the passing lane, takes this one away. Brazil has numbers here ahead of the pack. Too much on that pass. Tanomura comes up with it as they tried to feed Crivello, who was going to have a pretty easy look.
Japan is still up if they go.
Here they come now on the offensive end. Adachi moving the ball ahead. He'll swing it off to Okawa, who's going to have a clean look. And he'll put it away. May have been deflected on the way through, but scored it for Keigo Okawa. He has a hat trick, and Japan gets one back now, trailing 8-5.
It's a great way to stop the bleeding here for Japan. A well-executed counterattack, just taking his time, faking, and yeah, it looked like it was deflected.
Certainly sounded like on the way through.
But you'd rather have your teammate going up and trying to get that block than not. I mean, that's just kind of part of it. It's unfortunate. Happened last night with USA and Argentina as well.
Seems like 9 times out of 10, give or take, that's generally going to result in a field block for your team if you're playing active defense. But every now and again, if you don't get enough of it, it's going to find its way to the back of the net.
And that's one of those energy plays. You get a shot block, it pumps your team up.
4:19 left, third quarter, 8-5, Brazil in front. Shot clock to 7 for the Brazilians. Long cross pass. Near side attempt, that's off the post from Bernardo Rocha. And Japan takes control here.
Peroni playing over there one-on-one. He's just so fun to watch.
Japan has 2 straight. Coming back with a score, Mitsuaki Shiga connecting, and it's an 8-6 game with 4:02 left. See it here, Shiga pops up right around 5 meters. The catch, and they are efficient with their time. They did not wait. I mean, win, lose, or draw. If they miss it, they get blocked, or they make a goal. It usually comes fast.
Yeah, definitely. And I see Peroni talking to his teammate Rocha, who missed that shot at the end, is sort of kind of getting into him, saying, "Hey, you got to make that shot. I mean, I'm working, trying to make something happen, and I give it to you. You're wide open." He was upset with his teammate.
Shot clock to 5. Contra foul. Brazil will turn it over. Back to Tanemura, and again, Japan will look to counter.
They do have a slight advantage coming down the middle here.
Throw it into the middle, but a double team is there, and Peroni comes up with it, and now Brazil will head down the other end. .3:15 to play. Third quarter, 8-6, 2 straight from Japan to climb back into this one. Again, pressure on the perimeter. This is Paulo Salimi handling. Shot clock to 8 for Brazil. Spinning free, down to 4. Ordinary. And then an exclusion. And a 6-on-5 coming here. That will go against Takei. But then a tip away, and Japan takes control.
What a great tip by the Japanese defender right there. I mean, he must have lunged a meter right there to get that ball. That was amazing.
And a wise timeout here by Coach Omoto, as they hadn't even gotten back to the box in the exclusion. It was going to be a lost possession anyway. Might as well call timeout here and draw something up with 2:44 left in the third.
And it looks like, Japan, the beginning of that quarter, it looked like they were a little out of sorts themselves. Things weren't going their way. Brazil was really capitalizing. It now looks like Japan got like a second wind almost. That last defensive possession, they were as aggressive as they were in the first period, and you see the help. I mean, they're just so quick on the help. It's really impressive to watch.
You gonna pop in this tape for your squad over there at Orange Lutheran?
I mean, because there's such an emphasis on size always. Everyone always says, "Oh, this guy's big and this guy's bigger and this and that." But they're proving that if you're quick and you're athletic and you really read the game well, that you could have an advantage, just the same as a big guy does. And the 2-meter defender for Japan, he's not a big guy, and he's able to really shut down their 2-meter play. So it's really, really fun to watch.
2:40 left in the third, coming out of the timeout. Japan still with 17 on the shot clock. This is not their usual operating system here in a half-court offense, but they go from the outside, bar down, almost put it in from about 8 meters, but Antonelli gathers it. Okawa knows how to score the ball, has 3 goals already, and almost sniped that one in from the outside.
That looked like it was. That looked like it was perfect corner right there.
Here's Peroni working inside. Shot clock to 8. Contra foul called. A tangle there at 2 meters. And Japan will take control.
And that's all a result of the defender swimming around and not giving up and continuing to swim.
On the counter now. Japan pushing the tempo, dropping it right in the middle, and an easy takeaway there for Brazil. Kind of worked himself into a bad corner there. That was number 6, Hemi, who drove himself almost out of bounds, and then he realized he had nowhere to go, lobbed it center cage, but it was waiting for 2 Brazilian hands. Other end now, Brazil with a clean look, and they'll go near side on the skip, and it's Paulo Salimi connecting with his first, and a 9-6 lead for Brazil. So Japan will shake their heads at that because they had the advantage going the other way and just kind of swam themselves into a bad spot.
Yeah, I mean, when you take it that far down, sometimes you got to just pull back. You know, you just got to pull back, go to the opposite lane line, and just run a possession. And like you said earlier, I mean, they are really quick and they want to get quick possessions. You know, that might be something that they continue to evolve in their game. Slow a couple possessions down, run it, and dump it in the corner and come back and play, you know, man defense.
1:22 left, third quarter. 9-6, Brazil in front. A berth to the FINA World League Super Final on the line. And an exclusion called against Brazil. It'll go against Gomeres.
And that's a good call. I mean, he grabbed his arm and pulled him to get that advantage. And the referee has to call that. Otherwise, it'll go on the entire game.
Couple of hesitation fakes. Japan looking from the perimeter. Trying to set it up for Okawa. That pass over his head. They'll regroup here with under a minute to play. Sides coming even now. Power play over. Okawa taking a look. Deals to his left. Outside try. They try to go redirect right at about 1 meter. And then it's taken away by Brazil. That was a hybrid pass lob shot that they almost tipped home.
That was really, really cool. Had that worked, that would have been the goal of the tournament so far, I would think.
Our unofficial goal of the tournament right now is one from Peroni yesterday as he tries to go cross cage here. Spun in between 2 defenders and then put it right over the goalie's head. It's just phenomenal.
Amazing. Okay, second best goal.
Yeah, no, but that was certainly would have been in the conversation. Outside try there is off the mark. That was Guilherme Gomes. And then on the way down, exclusion called against Brazil.
That's another one on Gomes.
This will go on Guilherme Gomes, his second. And a power play coming here for Japan. Shot clock is off, 11 seconds left. They've been known to hold these for the next period, but enough time left here to work. Shot attempt and another stop by Antonelli. And 2 seconds left. Brazil has the ball. They'll put this one live, and that'll bring an end to the third. So an exciting third quarter and an exciting match thus far has Brazil ahead of Japan 9-6. 1 more quarter to play. We're back after this right here on USA Water Polo TV.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Fourth quarter on the way here between Japan and Brazil. First quarterfinal match of the day. China, Canada follow. USA, Kazakhstan after that. Then we'll close it out with Australia and Argentina. And the opening sprint controlled here by Japan. They closed out the third on a power play. Couldn't convert. Another stop by Antonelli. And Japan now controls the opening sprint to get things started here in the fourth.
Japan has some pretty good position here in 2 meters. If they can swing it and get it in right now, might have a good possession here.
Shot clock to 10. Entry inside. And then thrown away. Talked about Antonelli thus far, Steve. 9 saves, 2 steals, so he's had himself a nice day.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, 3 of those were pretty spectacular. I mean, top class saves.
Just underway here in the fourth. A 3-goal lead for Brazil. Here's Peroni working inside and stuffing it home. So he scored the first 3 for Brazil, has been quiet, at least on the scoreboard since then. Comes back with his 4th and puts the Brazilians up 10-6.
As a one-on-one player, you know, somebody who, you know, and that's something that I would like my players to do, is work a one-on-one. He is one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, he's just, he works constantly to create his own shot, and I think that's a skill that is not always applied in water polo. You know, they have this traditional sort of get it in the center type play. He's working and fighting one-on-one drives the entire game. It's really, really, really fun to watch him play.
Seen a couple of guys in this tournament throughout the week that seem to have that knack for one-on-one ability.
Yeah.
I think of Peroni, Azevedo, of course, on the U.S. team. Gubarev on Kazakhstan, kind of a crafty left-hander that kind of a thick guy, but can get himself open. And
yeah.
Exclusion here on Brazil and a power play once again for Japan. Looking inside, a redirect. Beautiful setup. Kenya Yasuda connecting in close. And they get one back after the exclusion on Bernardo Rocha.
And that was all patience, you know, getting the ball from one side to the other 3 times and then finding the open man inside right in the middle of the goal and catching the defense sleeping, shifting side to side. They've gone for that a couple times. So
comes through this time and making it a 3-goal game. And then a takeaway. Dangerous pass there. And Koji Takei comes up with it. Now a long outlet pass.
Some up in the middle here.
Dangerous pass through the middle there. We've talked this week too in our matches with John Abdo and Dean Quintal as well about a lot of teams trying to make the ultimate all-time perfect pass.
Yeah.
And that was an example of that again.
I mean, it was open 2 seconds before that. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Like that's really, if they pass it when they see it initially, I think it's a great pass. But when you wait, you know, the guy has 2 extra strokes to take, and then he's right there.
And then it becomes a thread the needle. He has
Yeah.
to catch this around 3 defenders and then do something with it.
Yeah.
As a turnover again. So Brazil giving Japan an opening here to start the fourth. They've turned it over a few times. They've put Japan on the power play, and they have it back here now with 5:31 to go. And now another power play, an exclusion called. This is against number 7, Delgado of Brazil.
This is
another one coming, so now a 6-on-4 situation.
And this is a big possession here for Japan.
Bernardo Gomes goes out, and they nearly throw it away. And they do. Unbelievable. They throw away a 6-on-4, and now they're excluded on the way down. That will be number 4 for Japan, Mitsuaki Shiga. Timeout called by Brazil and Ratko Rudic. Well, talk about shooting yourself in the foot here. A 6-on-4, you don't even get a shot off.
Yeah, and I think coach is saying to himself, should have called a timeout right there. I mean, you know, you want to look for the quick and you want to give your players an opportunity to get an easy one. But sometimes you got to step in and just slow things down and regroup because they were making a run there. They really were. So hopefully Japan has a little bit more to to give and can make another quick push, but that's a golden opportunity wasted.
This is where, and we'll see what Brazil does, but this is where you kind of can see the difference between the different levels of these teams. If Brazil comes out here, they convert to 6-on-5.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of the opportunities put their way, and they go up 11-7 here with about 5:20 to play. That's going to be hard for Japan to come back from.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like you said earlier, just Japan wants things to be so fast that they very rarely slow things down, and sometimes that's great, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it hurts you, and so but they haven't strained from their game plan. I mean, they're sticking with it 100%.
And I can definitely admire kind of the controlled chaos approach they take, just trying to run it up and down and get as many goals as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But to your point, sometimes, like anything, if you're constantly rushing, you're going to make some simple mistakes, and you're seeing that here with a couple of passes.
Yeah, and that was just a bad pass. I mean, that was such a simple mistake. Japan needs a big stop here.
And they don't get it. Delgado hits on the power play strike for his second, and Brazil goes ahead 11-7, 5:06 to play. And a dejected bench for Japan. As we see a second look here, Adrian Delgado able to put this one away.
Great elevation. You know, catches the ball and actually takes it one step higher before he shoots it. I've almost started to discount after goal plays for Japan. This is almost like sometimes it's a wasted possession until they start going up and down. That's really where they're dangerous.
No, they definitely don't have the same comfort level when they have to go half court. Here's where they'll attempt to succeed, drawing the exclusion on Ruda Franco.
That was he grabbed him in the face right there. You could really clearly see that.
4:45 to play, fourth quarter. Japan trailing by 4 on the power play here. Bobbled pass there. They'll get it on the perimeter. Attempt on the skip goes over the goal. Sides are even, and Brazil takes control with a little over 4.5 minutes to play in the match.
It's really important now for Brazil to use the possession. They don't need to score quick goals. I think that's big mistake if they start to try to run and gun still. Slow it down, and they just did that. Slow it down, work for 2 meters, dump it if you have to, and just play defense.
Baroni throws it over the top, taken away by Tanamura. The sun may have played a factor there. You can see it coming down a bit here. It has played a role in these afternoon games, facing the Brazilian goal, but there's a takeaway, and Brazil with another steal. This is Bernardo Rocha handling. The pressure also, which was so effective by Japan in the first half, just doesn't have the same teeth to it here in the second half.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I do think Japan had their opportunities, and they really started turning the ball over in the second period and the third period especially, and Brazil was able to capitalize. Whereas in the first quarter, you know, Brazil wasn't capitalizing, and they were turning the ball over a lot. I mean, it was almost every possession they had a turnover. And so Brazil really settled down, and players like Peroni and Gomes giving them 3 goals. I mean, that really helps when you have individual performances that get you through the tough stretches in the game.
No, and certainly Japan will look back at this game and they'll see the chances they had, not only to be in it, but to go ahead. Certainly, they led early on, 3-2, of course, but to really take it to another level, the opportunities were there. You have to credit Antonelli on making some key saves, but then some turnovers, some bobbled passes. They gave up a lot of golden opportunities as well.
And I can't imagine their 6-on-5 percentage was a highlight. You know, I mean, I think they could have converted a couple more 6-on-5s, and that would have obviously kept them in the game.
2:45 to play here in the fourth, 11-7. Brazil up, but Japan are going to get another chance. An exclusion called here against Brazil. So go on Crivello, his second. A few fakes on the perimeter and a contra foul called against Japan. So again, a power play opportunity goes by the boards. And Steve, you touch on those power play numbers. Japan right now 2 for 11 on the extra man.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the game right there. You know, you go 50%, you win by 1. So.
Meanwhile, Brazil just 2 for 4, have had much fewer opportunities, but have been more economical with them.
And that's, I mean, obviously that's a compliment to Japan's defense, because when you press that much and you're not getting kicked out, I mean, you're playing really good, clean defense, and that's impressive in itself.
Japan on the offensive end after the turnover from Brazil. Beautiful shot from the outside. Atsashi Arai going to the far corner to put that one home, make it an 11-8 game here.
And Coach Reko Rudic right there is yelling at his player because he's got his hand up, but he's got the wrong hand up. And you can see he's got his right hand up. He's got to get that left hand up and take away that angle.
See Peroni here giving some instructions to the team. Definitely a guy that has emerged as a leader on this role, even though relatively new to the Brazil program.
Yeah, I mean, team captain, you know, what he says probably goes in the water. And, I mean, he lets his play do the talking. I mean, he just took it from half tank all the way to the 2-meter line, one-on-one. It's, I mean, he's obviously one of the best in the world.
Minute 20 to play in the fourth. Brazil on their way to a victory here. Trying to work 1-on-2. And Franco wisely gives it out. Shot clock about to expire. Off the bar and down, and Tanamura takes it. And a good showing here from Japan, but they're going to fall just short here of qualification for the FINA World League Super Final. Our first team to punch a ticket will be the Brazilian squad here with under a minute to play in the fourth. That pass thrown away, and Salimi comes up with it.
Give Peroni the ball. That's what the coach is saying. Let him just hold it. Wow.
Keeps his head up the whole time, too, advancing into the front court, but also seeing the possibilities that are out there from a passing standpoint.
I mean, the amount of physical condition that you have to be able to do that with a minute left or 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And I haven't seen him sub one time. For him to be able to take it from half tank, beat a Japanese defender all the way down to the 2-meter line and still find someone to pass it to. I mean, it's just...
It's impressive stuff, and it's been an impressive first match here of the day for Brazil. Ahead 11-8, 20 seconds remaining. Timeout was called here by Japan, and there a good look at Coach Yoji Emoto. He knows his team had opportunities. Wasn't able to string them together when it mattered most, and they will fall into the 5th through 8th place bracket here starting tomorrow.
Of course, as a coach, you're always going to second guess yourself. I would say if you could interview him, you know, the things that he would say is for him as a coach, he would say timeout at the end of the third quarter.
Sure.
Timeout at the 6-on-4. Those two were big. Those were two big decisions. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
so final possession here in all likelihood for Japan as they'll get it live. China, Canada coming up at around 5 p.m. And that final possession ends in a turnover, and Brazil will grab it, and they can watch the time tick away. Strong second half effort here from the Brazilians to take out a feisty Japanese team that made life difficult, especially in the first quarter. And Brazil will win it 11-8. The final 4 goals for Felipe Peroni. Bernardo Gomes with 3, Delgado with 2, Salimi, Crivello with a goal each to Japan, and Keigo Okawa with 3 goals. Koji Takei with 2 goals, and then Shiga and Arai also chip in with a goal apiece. Not to mention the goalkeeping job done by Antonelli, as he was strong, piling up 9 saves. Had a really solid day there, Steve.
Yeah.
And Brazil just too strong in the second half.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they made some adjustments. throughout the whole game, really, and really that third quarter adjustment is what took Japan out of the game. The roles were reversed at the end with Brazil starting off with the turnovers and now Japan ending the game with a lot of turnovers. So, but it was a great showing by Japan. It was really exciting to watch and great game to be a part of.
So the final 11-8, and Brazil clinches a berth to the World League Super Final. We're going to step away now. Coming up at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we'll have Canada and China join us right back here at CDM here at Newport Beach. And don't forget, join the conversation, hashtag FINA CDM. We'll see you back here at 5 p.m.